Now that we have a foundation chain of 6, let's go ahead and start the second row of our crochet project. When you start your second row, you're actually going to start on the second chain of your foundation chain. When we do this, it's because the first chain here is what is currently your working stitch. So it would be really tricky to try to grab onto that stitch when it's right next to where your hook is, and it is the chain that you're currently working in. To work onto this next stitch, I'm going to take my hook and put it into the stitch there. So again, it is in my second chain, and you can now see that you have 2 loops on your crochet hook. Then I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to pull it through just the first loop. I'm going to yarn over again, and I'm going to pull it through both loops. So take your hook and gently slide it through 1, 2 loops and pull it up and around. So now I've made 1 single crochet. I'm going to continue this process. Let's watch again. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick my hook through the next chain on my line. I'm going to yarn over and pull it through the first part, yarn over and pull it through 1, 2, both loops of the stitch. And as I go, I'm kind of pulling some tension in my left hand to try to keep the chains even. I'm going to go through the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 1, 2. And then as you do this, you can see the stitches forming. They look like the letter V. So now I can see that I've created 1, 2 new stitches. So you can see the end of your row and you can see your new stitches forming. I'm going to go ahead and finish out my row. Whoops, as I went through that one, my yarn split a little bit. That's totally fine if that happens. So you can see I have a small piece of yarn and then the full stitch I was trying to go through. So I can go ahead and just pull my hook out, and I'm going to try that one again. Crochet is very forgiving, and that's something that's really nice about this craft. So even if you make a small mistake like that, it's all going to work out. All right, I've got 1 more stitch to add on to mine. It's at the very end here. I can see what loop I'm going to go ahead and go through. So I'm going to pop it through, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through both. And sometimes if you go a little bit tight, it may be harder to pull through. And now I can see all my horizontal V's, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches there, which makes sense since we skipped the first stitch. And I'll be ready to turn my project around and I can continue on crocheting. But this time, since we are past our foundation row, when I do my yarn over, I'm going to go through both of the horizontal V's. So when I poked my hook through, it went through both loops there. So I did my yarn over, and I'm going to pull through the entire loop, which looks like 2, and then pull through both loops again. Pulling tight as I go. So watch how I push through both parts of the V, pull through, and then pull through 1, 2. Through, pull through, 1, 2. Almost done with this row. Pull, yarn over and 1, 2. Last stitch, right through the whole letter V of my stitch. Whoops. Let's get both sides of that. Sometimes the end stitch can feel a little tricky depending on the angle. Go through both. And then 1, 2. And then you can see again, it's sometimes helpful to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have my little project going.